All right. Here we are in sunny Germany. Let me fix this. Okay. Hello, party people. All right. Yeah, so hey, wieder Flo. I just kind of came back from playgrounds. Kinda, not really. I mean, I returned on Saturday. Was hey Bermix. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was a really good event. I got to meet a couple of people, left with new friends. What can I say? In general, it was just really cool. Maybe my thoughts will pop up. If you have any questions, ask away. Maybe my memories will pop up when I'm flipping through the magazine today. We are looking at this little honey. This is ImagineFX 203. Today I'm working with natural light out of the window. And not its fake light. Looks nice. Good enough for magazine. I don't really want to turn on the lights for this and put down the shutters. Alright. Oh yeah, Ian Dean took over as editor-in-chief. The subject of NFTs is tackled on page 22 as artists debate if the crypto trend is the future or merely another fad. I gotta say, I kind of feel like it's super funny to look through these magazines after all this shit already happened. Imagine how it looks like, let's say, 2 years after this AI crisis, because it is. Reading through this and being like, oh my god. Remember how it was? What do we have? Koyamori. Artists unite against NFTs. Yeah. Glenn Southern, artist in residence. Sketchbook. Len Nicholas. Control detail, colorful character, shapes and colors. By the way, this guy, I'm not sure if it's still running, but with Corette, they're running a crowdfunding campaign. It should still be on. I don't think it's over yet. Check it out. Yeah. How has your weekend been? I mean, Vida, you were at Playgrounds. We didn't really talk much. It was a busy event. Other than that, I believe you guys probably were working, because that's what we do, right? We work over the weekends. I don't anymore. I don't work anymore over the weekends. FX possède the place to share your digital art. Sid Mills. This looks great. This looks really great. Javeria Koso. Or Javeria, probably. As it's Pakistan. I just Spanified your name. Javeria Koso, I assume. Anyway. Peak of your anxiety, but you still loved it. Yeah, I mean, it's part of it, right? Powering through that anxiety. Amanda Kiefer. This is impressive. Huh. David Calabrese. Kate Matthews. Joao Fiuza. Oh my god. Joao. Eric Desiderio. From Germany. I think the name is Romanian, right? Morning, Yana. Love playgrounds this year. Yeah, it was a really good event, a really good one. I mean, my voice is still affected from this fucking techno you Dutch people play all the time. Holy crap! Like, what is it with the techno, guys? Why? Why techno? I think Dutch people can use a little bit of black metal at some point. Yeah. Alright, artists unite against NFTs. Gross profit supporters say NFTs give creators better control over their work and more opportunities to make money. So why are many digital artists strongly against them, asks Gary Evans. Digital artist Beeple sold a digital collage of his digital drawings. Digital artist, the digital collage of digital drawings for 50 million. The price paid at Christie's auction house for every days, the first 5,000 days, was the third highest for work by a living artist. The buyer bought a non-fungible token, an NFT. Yeah. In May 2007, Beeple, aka Mike Winkelmann, actually with 2 N, started posting a daily drawing. By posting the result online, I'm less likely to throw down a big pile of ass shit, the American said. The collage, sold in March 2021, is made of 5,000 images, which works out at about $10,000 per image. You can look at every one of these images and right-click and save them if you wanted to on Beeple's website. The NFT file doesn't contain the collage itself. The NFT that the buyer purchased is similar to a contract or a certificate of ownership. Essentially, it says the owner of this NFT owns every days, the first 5,000 days. Yeah, the new kid on the block. A record of the buyer who bought this NFT is stored on a type of database called blockchain. This is basically a big digital ledger where any future changes of ownership will be publicly logged. This chain of ownership will be permanently marked in the file itself. You can right-click and save the collage every day, the first 5,000 days. You can right-click and save every last one of its individual images, but the NFT itself is pretty much impossible to copy or forge. Chances are, if you're reading this, then you've had somebody right-click and save your own art. You've probably had somebody share your repost, your work with proper credit or permission. Maybe you've even had somebody pass your work off as their own, so you'd have every right to see NFTs as a way for you to regain control of your art and maybe even make a little money doing it. You're unlikely to make untold millions, but even a smaller fee is better than having your work taken from you for nothing, isn't it? There's absolutely an issue of redistributing and sharing art without credit, Catherine Graffam says. However, I don't think NFTs solve that problem. In a vacuum, NFTs can appear like a solution to this, but in reality, the money made from NFT sales, especially by new artists, won't counter the fees associated with actually minting NFTs. Catherine, an artist and art teacher, recently posted a YouTube video titled NFTs Are Worse Than You Thought. Artists Beware. Catherine included research by the Canadian artist Kimberly Parker, who found that half of NFTs sold made less than the equivalent of $200 and 34% sold for under $100. If you put an NFT up for sale for $100, the fees you charged will be between 72.5 and 157.5% of the sales price. That's an average of 100.5% 8%, which means an average loss of about 50 cents. So the average artist isn't going to get rich from NFTs, but doesn't an NFT add more than monetary value? The original artwork is more enriching to the viewer than the print. The first edition book somehow more magical than the paperback reprint. I think those analogs don't quite translate, Catherine says, at least for me, because there's a physical and tangible difference between a print and an original painting or a reprint. You could argue that NFTs are attempting to set up the provenance that gives originals their value for digital goods, but the experience is the same to the viewer regardless of whether or not you own the NFT. So it's a fad? Ooh, shocking. I don't think it's a fad, but the market is so volatile and is clearly already dropping in popularity that it won't be as radicalizing as NFT supporters believe it will. A lot of people will always want physical versions of an artwork they can hang on their wall and can experience every day. No amount of giving digital goods inflated value and scarcity will change that. Catherine's YouTube video comprehensively and compellingly lists numerous other ways NFTs are bad, a big one being their effect on the planet, which is a massive concern for Natasha. Alright, Ilinchik or Ilinkic, I don't know. I think Ilinchik. Or Ilinchitz, I don't know. A ridiculous amount of energy. My aversion towards NFTs stems mainly from their environmental impact, Natasha says, calling NFTs a conceptually and emotionally empty ticket. Technology magazine Wired recently reported on another high-profile NFT auction. French artist Joanie Lemercier. I'm just trying, guys, I don't know. A climate activist recently put 6 NFTs up for auction on the Nifty Gateway website. They sold for thousands of dollars in 10 seconds. The sale consumed 8.7 megawatt hours of energy, equivalent to 2 years of energy use in Joanie's studio, then sold again another year worth of energy. The system is similar to the one that verifies Bitcoin, Gregory Barber wrote in Wired, involving a network of computers that use advanced cryptography to decide whether transactions are valid, and in doing so, uses energy on the scale of a small country. NFTs, Natasha says, expend a ridiculous amount of energy to produce ultimately nothing. Considering the current situation in global warming, I believe that participating in this scheme is deeply unethical. Natasha's latest art book, A Compendium of Witches, is a collection of stories about 29 witches and their various historical settings. My art explores the spiritual relationship with nature, she says. If I were to support practices that are hugely detrimental to our planet, it would render my art meaningless. Art is about communication. If my actions undermine my message, I might as well do something else. Johnny said hold on. It's a dude. He had no idea how much, and hold on. Alright. He had no idea how much energy this NFT auction would consumer, and cancelled his next 2 auctions priced $200,000. Not all artists are willing to do the same. I'm sad to say that I have lost respect for many members of the art community for this, Natasha says, not only for disregarding the environmental impact, but also for this applies to big names, funneling younger and or lesser established artists into this pyramid scheme, ultimately exploiting them. Personally, Alexandria Neonaki says, I think they're a fad. In the time you've sent me these questions, the whole market seems to have crashed, which is a thing crypto people swear is just part of it, but I don't know. It all feels so bizarre to me. I don't want anything to do with it. Peaks and throughs. Alexandria's right. In the time it's take to plan and write this article, NFTs have, depending on who you believe, crashed, peaked, and crashed again. Early in June, crypto news site Protos.com reported the NFT market has imploded over the past month, with sales in every single category almost entirely driving up. NFTs peaked on May 3rd when 102 million worth were sold in a single day. The crypto collectibles market made up to 100 million of those sales. Other crypto news sites reported NFTs had crashed back in April. So who knows what will have happened to NFTs by the time this article exists in form of a tangible print magazine. It reminds me of those things where you can buy a star and put your name on it, Alexandria says. I guess you can show it to your friends and family to be like, I own this, but it carries no weight outside of that. The rest of the world doesn't know or care that you own the star. It's just a piece of paper, and that ownership is made up anyway. There's no value applied to owning NFTs by the public at large, or even the art community at large. So just saying you own it or even showing the NFT certification doesn't mean anything to most people, because there's no consensus on whether or not these things have any value at this point, or how you'd track over time. I got thoughts. So first of all, I freaked out back then about how artists were treated when they tried out NFTs, and the reason with slamming them because of the environmental impact seemed kind of ridiculous to me, to be honest. Just because I did the math very early, before NFTs became a thing. Ben Morrow hit me up like a year before, and I was looking into this. I never jumped on it, but my reason was the amount of ridiculous art that was being posted there. It didn't seem to me like a quality place, to invest anything or bring people there to make NFTs. I contemplated on it a lot, but it didn't seem like something that made anything better, And that's fair. But the reason why others were criticized for it didn't make any sense to me either. These free prints that we send with the campaign and all that stuff, they are worthless to many people, and they throw it away. We're talking about something very subjective. These stars that she talks about, they mean a lot to people who are buying them. I've never done that. I find it ridiculous. But I can acknowledge that many people put some kind of worth to it. Because again, it's subjective, right? Speaking about connecting with nature and at the same time making an art book, like on that level, is also kind of weird to me, because we're cutting down trees. That's what we do. Without cutting down trees, no art books. Without driving them over to the buyers one by one through Amazon or whatever, Environmental impact. If you were looking at the environmental impact about this while we are tweeting about it, why don't we look into how much that mind fart that we are posting, or that absolutely useless image that we have been posting, really has any value whatsoever, especially in the face of algorithms essentially working against us and not for us. Like, all these things seem to me very, very, very subjective. So everyone really going on tangents about this, about worth and all that, also seems very subjective and very, very early. Because right now, first of all, Wacom launched UEFI, which works on some kind of a soft blockchain thing. I don't know exactly what it is, but it is there to essentially track the entire process of what you've been doing on a blockchain. And that is a good way to really make sure that people know you have created something. Ironically, with the crisis that we're facing in terms of AI, blockchain is quite a good solution to prove that something has been done by you specifically, and is not just a fake thing created with a prompt. So it seems like this fad actually is a good way to add a certificate to what you're doing. And it's also a good way to monetize what you're doing, because this is not about the NFT bubble, but blockchain in itself seems like a really good way to make sure that people know what you're doing is yours. And at the same time, if you put something like on a website, and you can track all the clicks and everything, and it can all be paid to you. I mean, I know crypto is a problem and all that, right? Like there's ways to actually use a fiat currency like regular money. The guys at, what was it, Legendary, whatever the name was, were implementing something like that into the marketplace. So what I'm saying is, if we're talking about a bubble bursting in terms of NFTs and it not becoming really important anymore, then what we're actually discussing is the way that it is being used now. The technology, however, I find quite intriguing, because it also helps to certificate physical products in the end. You know? It makes it sure that things cannot really be forged that way, especially when it comes to art books. Like, go to a Chinese website and check out how many ripped off books you find of Kim Chung-gi. Just have a look. It's insane. Something like blockchain could prevent something like that. At least that's my take on it. Anyway, usually I don't really talk that much about my mind farts, but in this specific case, most views on NFTs, and don't take that personal, people who were mentioned here, but they seemed a bit short-sighted. Tooled up art director and VizDev artist Isis Sousa reflects on Coral Painter's new direction. Day in the life of Jared Krichevsky. Okay. The creature concept artist has learned the importance of good physical health in his shop. Holy shit, yes. It's fun when you get 40 and all these years take their revenge. Finding inspiration in politics and protest. Get together. If Kai Klein had a hammer, they would hammer in the morning and make colorful, emotive imagery. Alright. I'm always striving to figure out what's important to me and how to communicate that through my artwork. Now that's a studio. Alright. By the way, just to add to the discussion earlier, I'm not saying NFTs were a good thing. I'm just saying blockchain probably is something that shouldn't be judged prematurely. Because right now we are looking at ways to kind of certificate things, right? To make sure that they are tied to a person. And of course you can do that with signing stuff and actual physical products, right? All of that is possible. At the same time, a digital certificate for digital artists seems like a good idea to me. I don't know. Let me know when you think I'm wrong. I'm always up to debate, and I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. There's sort of a stigma attached to the furry fandom. However, they have one of the most interesting art communities I've seen. Have they been featured in the magazine before? If not, why not reach out and try to educate people on how amazing they and their artwork can be? Ian replies, "Hi Stacy, we have covered furry art in past issues, but not recently. Why don't you send in your art and use it to educate the world to the furry cause?" The furry cause. The furry cause. There is a furry cause? From China to Canada, this artist style is inspired by the meeting of the human mind and nature. That's beautiful. I'm usually not much into art like that, but this is really good. This is beautiful. Looks lovely. I don't know if I would make a book with it, but yeah, still. Great stuff. The lack of confidence in my own abilities held me back from pursuing art as a career for many years. Yep. I think plenty would agree here. Oh, this looks cool. I know, I'm really a sucker for dark stuff and bones and everything. It's like, just seems like everything gets better if you add a sprinkle of melancholy. Can't help it. Len Nichols. This concept artist enjoys drawing adorable animals getting to grips with advanced sci-fi tech. Otters are cleverer than we thought. Perhaps science and technology will come full circle and bring magic and whimsy back. I recently started playing Cyberpunk, and now everything is just Cyberpunk to me. Even when people are mentioning AI and shit, I'm always just like, well, Cyberpunk. And then it's like, I realize it's a word I don't want. Like, the game seems lovely, but it's all just so fucking overwhelming. Holy shit. I don't understand anything. Either I dump down, or I dump down. Because it seems like a game I would have understood back in the day, essentially, like when I was younger. Now I don't. French illustrator Moon shows how to draw a colorful character with ink gel pens, developing an original design that features flora and fauna. Yeah, I think the campaign should be still going. I have a couple of the books here. It's good stuff. Again, not really up my alley, but I can see how it is good, even though it's not my taste. Painting skills. Boost your creativity with pro advice on mastering color in your portraits. What? Okay. All this and more. Iron Alberto explains how to paint portraits with impact. And he knows. Mario Rodriguez shares the process for visualizing a complex space, including how to avoid over-detailing and effective lighting techniques. Alright. Oh, that's lovely. It looks so simple. Again, I realize that it's mostly tutorials. Gillian Galan. All right. It's amazing, actually. Huh. Speed model of fantasy scene, Bryn G. Jones. Are you guys going to any other conferences this year? I have a couple still lined up that I will go to. Stuff is happening. So much stuff to check out. So many people to meet. iPad Pro 11-inch. Okay. And we're back. We're back to art book rating. Let's go. The Art of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, 5 stars. By the end of the book, you'll be itching to charter a ship to the planet Batuu. That's interesting. What I find more interesting is 2-star rating. Why? Let's check it out. Worldview. Discover the storyboards that helped the director of Blade Runner 2042 visualize the film before a single frame was shot. Co-author Sam Hudecki describes storyboarding as a translation process, visualizing Blade Runner's 2049 script while conveying meaning to emotion. But if the aim was to enthrall the reader with the magic of this creative process, then something was lost in translation. Alright, Sam shared storyboarding duties with Daryl Hanley in the film. The grayscale work fills this 224-page book with only the occasional piece of full-color concept art breaking up the monochrome monotony. It's storyboards. The book follows the film closely. Storyboards reveal camera angles, lighting and character shots, and with 10 boards per page, that's a lot of art to pour over. Sometimes captions provide creative insight, but too often the reader is left to draw their own conclusions. We'd have preferred a more selective approach, with the artists focusing on key moments and providing in-depth analysis of how they help to shape the scene. This pricey book has limited appeal. Film students will demand more expert comment, while Blade Runner 2049 fans will be left cold by 2-inch wide sketches of the cerebral move. It's storyboards. I don't know what else to say. It's like saying something and everything. That's not a must when you make a book about storyboards. You don't have to explain shit if it's a book about storyboards. If it's an art book, you don't have to explain shit. It's an art book. It has to have art. You know, it's important to distinguish. Man, you guys slamming books like that, I don't know. It's really off-putting. Any instructional book that labels itself as the ultimate guide has got a lot to live up to. Leonardo Perez Nieto's book doesn't hit the bullseye, although he gets pretty close. Oh, this is just bitter. Seriously, my toenails cringe up when I read stuff like that. Fuck this. I don't know. Nope, pretty much stuck here. No conferences, but a couple of fantasy festivals. Fantasy festivals? Like for authors and stuff? Like what is... I don't know. I don't know what it is. What is a fantasy festival? I don't know what it is. Victoria Gedvillas. Sweet. Alright. I'm gonna look that one up. That is I'm a sucker for good watercolor-ish stuff. Really. And it's really good. Då krijg je Fraile. Fraile? Do you say that? Fraile? Gouache. Painting clouds with gouache. Justin Donaldson. First impression when we reach the end. This US artist got his first break illustrating Tolkien's Middle-earth. It's David Thorne Wenzel. Holy crap. And this gets like the last page. Really? It should have been like a full friggin' article. Like outdoor festival with music, people dressing up, stalls, also a couple of artists are always there. They have a magic con in Germany planned too. That's it. There's a heart over this fucking chat that kind of hides the words. I don't want to add emoticons. What the fuck? Plan 2. That's a typical con, small scale in a hotel. Okay. I didn't know of that people did that. Have fun. This US artist got his first break illustrating Tolkien's Middle-earth. Where did you grow up and how did this influence your art? I grew up in Harvard, Massachusetts, which back then was a small country town with rolling hills and bucolic vistas. Never heard that word. It absolutely contributed to my interpretation of the Shire when I painted its landscapes. Where do you create your art? I create almost all of my finished art traditionally from a studio So fucking tired. Studio my home. Additionally, I utilize a computer where I do digital preliminary development, scanning, and enhancement. What was your first paid commission, and does it stand as a representation of your talent? I think many artists have early commissions from friends and schoolmates, but the first commission one gets from a publisher is very memorable. Mine was a commission by Centaur Books to create Middle-earth, the world of Tolkien illustrated, as a companion book for The Hobbit, which at the time had not been officially illustrated. I don't think it stands up to my current paintings, as my artistic perceptions have improved with experience. The Middle-earth artwork contained some naive artistic flaws, but it had several visual successes that still hold up. In fact, the original book cover hangs over my bureau. What's the last piece you finished? How do the two differ? Since those early illustrations, I've developed a more comprehensive protocol when creating a new artwork. I use multiple thumbnails to explore varied viewpoints, enabling me to explore more sophisticated compositional options. In my early illustrations, I didn't understand the integration of value and shape, which is now a cornerstone of my creative process. In addition, my drawing abilities are just better because I've spent those classic 10,000 hours drawing. Is your artwork evolving? I've just completed a piece called Boredom, in which an apprentice sorceress sits on an ancient tree with gnarled roots. Her boredom is being taken out on her cat familiar, which she's levitating for her amusement. This piece differs from my previous pieces in that for the finishing layer I used acrylic gouache over the watercolor. I've used gouache before for making touch-ups, but here I utilized it to complete passages in the manner of an opaque painting, so that the watercolors serve more as an underpainting. What's the more important thing you've taught someone? Most important. This is what I would pass on to an aspiring young artist. If a person has that passion and drive to do art, it's simple. They have to put in the hours. This means more than just drawing or painting incessantly. It also means motivating yourself by researching fellow artists and discovering their path, creating projects that challenge, observing, and engaging with the world around you, collecting knowledge about everything, and keep reading. What advice would you give to your younger self? Network, talk to people, ask questions, meet new artists and engage, write out short and long-term goals and post them where you can see them in your daily routine. Take time for yourself. David Thormansel is the illustrator of the Hobbit graphic novel and the recently updated Kingdom of the Dwarves. Discover more of his art at davidwenzel.com. That's it. That's it, we're through. I think this camera is kind of... Now it works. Anyway, we're through. We're through with this. I still have a lot of work to finish. I have to work on Dominic Meyer's book, which is launching next month on the 6th. It's the first time I'm launching a campaign on a Sunday. Curious how that will turn out. Other than that, nothing. I gotta get back to work. It was fun though. More streaming tomorrow, again at 9 o'clock. See you there. Have a great day. And see you on Discord. And bye-bye.